So Jesus was astonished by two things: faith and unbelief. In this week's gospel, Jesus went to his hometown, Nazareth. He preached on the Sabbath at the synagogue, and people were astounded at his wisdom and his miracles. But they immediately turned to those familiar with him, noting that they know his family and that he's a carpenter. That familial way of thinking about Jesus resulted in them taking offense at him and rejecting him, and as a result, fewer miracles in his hometown, Nazareth. It's fascinating that they move quickly from being astounded to taking offense. They point out that Jesus is a carpenter, and this is seemingly a way to deride him and point out that he isn't a real rabbi with real theological training. It's also interesting that he's a carpenter, a builder, and carpenters are known, their credibility comes from true and lasting work. Another way that they derided Jesus was by calling him Mary's son, not Joseph's son. So it's not the only time that this comes up, since he was either thought to be illegitimate or that he had no father because Joseph had already passed away. So let's get back to his neighborhood's familiarity. As the saying goes, familiarity breeds contempt. And it's interesting that virtue, wisdom, things that once made us feel awe, fascination, exhilaration, excitement, can make us feel contempt and offense. What's more, in this passage, familiarity caused these people to have fewer miracles done by Jesus. Jesus went where there was more faith and continued to do miracles after this experience. In Nazareth, he did circuit preaching. Last week's thought was on making sense of Jesus. In spite of being laughed at by the mourners, he took his closest disciples and the parents of the girl, so that was Jairus, remember, into the house to heal the little girl. Even though they had seen that Jesus was preaching and teaching powerfully and healing people, they chose offense over faith. So that offense had the viral effect and created an environment that prevented healing. Astonishing that the offense had this effect. The tendency towards irrationality is very interesting. So one of the things that I've learned is that our thinking and behavior is rarely moved by information alone. Rather, we're moved by models and the environment. Information is most effective when it comes from a trusted person, that model, like a family member. So for those in Jesus' hometown, they would have known him and his family before the miracles. For those not from his hometown, their first experience of him would have been through learning about his miracles, possibly through those who had been healed or people close to those who had been healed. So Jesus again bypassed the faithless to those with faith and continued to preach and to heal. At the end of this encounter, Jesus sent out his disciples who did the same miracles that Jesus had done. So this all gets me wondering, how do I stay astounded at Jesus' wisdom and powerful deeds? Immediately I think of Psalm 119, which says, by reading and knowing the scriptures and guarding my heart against familiarity and offense, I've added that bit in, and living obediently. I suppose the job is to find men and women who have faith in Jesus and who still marvel at his love, at his wisdom, and his works, and then to emulate them. Father, I pray that you keep us in awe of your Son, Jesus.